the We Ship It All store. Visit the UPS store today. Be unstoppable.
Visit your local UPS store at 1831 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Suite 125 in Greenville.
And we are live here in Copiah County, where there are allegations of a deputy sheriff who has injured a citizen. Complaint had been filed. I did get a chance to look at the paperwork where a formal complaint was filed back in July the 7th and July the 8th. Spoke with the sheriff about a week or so ago. We were supposed to meet with him on last week. Mishap happened. Then the citizen called to reschedule for today at 1 o'clock. Get to the sheriff department pretty early enough to sit down and catch a breather. Get here, speak with someone who is sitting behind the desk, and they actually said that the sheriff is not going to be available. Now, this is an ongoing issue, and after speaking with the sheriff, he said that give him some time to get this resolved. But from what I understand, after a week or so, the citizens actually spoke to the sheriff maybe 3 weeks ago. And we are going to bring them on and let them talk to you about the complaint, because there are allegations that the citizen was harmed, caused bodily harm, put in handcuffs, but never taken to jail. And it was brought to the deputy's attention down in Copiah County that surgery had just been done on the citizen, and both deputies disregarded whatever the citizen was talking about. And so now the complaint is going forth and the follow-up is supposed to happen, but there's no one to speak to. And I'm about to speak to the citizens right now. We're going to get them positioned just shortly. But for those who don't know what the Copiah County Sheriff Department looks like, this is it. Please share this video if you are from Crystal Springs, Copiah County, because this is an ongoing issue that has yet to be resolved. And I'm not sure if the sheriff got back in touch with the family. So I'm getting ready to ask them now. Can you guys stand closer? Okay, so I understand that you guys had an ongoing situation, and you've been trying to get some type of resolution from the county. There's a complaint that went forth. Now, Jamaindra Tyler, you allege that you were grabbed by your wrist and put into handcuffs. Were you ever arrested?
No, I wasn't.
And this happened on more than one occasion, right? According to the documents, July the 7th and July the 8th is when all of this happened. Can you tell us about the incident and how you ended up in handcuffs?
They came out because the nephew called the police on the uncle.
Mm-hmm. So it's a family issue.
It's a family issue going on.
So when the police got to your home, what happened?
He was raving, hooping, and hollering, telling us to be quiet and this and that, and never telling the other family to be quiet.
Were you on your own property? You guys were on your own property. And so can you tell me what you witnessed? Because Jamaindra is saying that she made this guy aware, or both of the officers aware, that she had just had surgery. on her wrist. Did she tell them that?
She did that. I was right there in front of her when she said that.
Okay.
Marquis grabbed her by the wrist, told her if she don't shut up or be quiet, he gonna take her to jail.
Beat my ass or something, whatever smart word.
And I said, well, she ain't did nothing. But what it all started from, when they went to the wrong house, my sister's house down the road, they followed them back up there.
Who was they?
My sister and them, the one that they got into it with.
Who did they follow?
They followed the officer back up the road.
So
walked up there.
Hold on. So the officer is talking to you all
in the kind of way,
and then they followed the other citizens. Followed the.
By the time the officer got to where we were,
yeah.
My sister and everything, nieces and things, followed them up there, and we standing on my nephew porch, and they standing out there on the ground, and they just went at it. But it seemed like when they was telling them to shut up, they was telling my family to shut up.
Were they telling everybody to be quiet?
They didn't grab now one of the officer's side. They didn't grab none of the other side. They just grabbed her wrist, and she had just had an operation on her. And just not too long ago had another operation on her other wrist.
And has she been in pain since all of this has happened?
Yeah, she had just come out of the hospital not about 2 or 3 days.
And there's an incident where someone was holding the baby.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Holding the baby, and he grabbed her arm, and the baby dropped down to
Regina.
To her hip. That was when Regina was there then. And I got the baby. I come up there and got the baby from her. And she said, "You almost made me drop the baby."
Yes.
And she said, "Well, I don't care." She said, "I'm just gonna put you in a handcuff. Come on, you going to jail." And my old lady, she wasn't even out there. She had walked on the porch, and she said, "Come on, you going to jail too." She said, "Everybody in your family said you can tell them to come on out the house because they going to jail."
But did she end up going to jail?
No, she didn't go. I said, "How's she gonna go to jail?" And she's standing on the porch and ain't did nothing.
But okay, so they had her in handcuffs?
That was the first incident.
The first incident, you were in handcuffs.
Yes.
The second one, when they came to my house to get a bicycle. And I was up to my brother's house watching wrestling. And by the time I got there, the officer and thing was already there. Charles was there, Regina. That's when she got out the car. So everybody in your family going to jail. I'm sick of this. Everybody going to jail. Now, that's what she said. Then when everybody got ready to go to jail with nobody, White Manager and White McDonald.
So, and I looked at the paperwork, and I saw some discrepancies in the paperwork. They have the wrong name with the wrong first name, last name. And you said that you asked for the paperwork for one of the incidents, and they told you they didn't have it.
They didn't have it. When the nephew called the police, the DHS come up with him, and asked him to get out the yard. He would not leave out the yard. No other DHS would leave out the yard. So we started asking.
So why do they feel like it's okay to come to you guys' property? Now I understand that this is heirs' property, but I don't think anybody has a right to break the law. And I'm not an officer or anything, but why is it that he feels that he can come to your residence?
Because they've been letting them do it so long.
Who is they?
The police.
Okay,
they'll call them. They'll call them, and they right on their side. Whatever they doing down there, they right on their side. They got insiders in there helping them.
Insiders helping the people who are coming to your home.
Yes, they got insiders.
Now, I understand that you are not satisfied with the way that this complaint is being dealt with. This is your second time coming to see the sheriff. What were you told when you went in there?
That he will handle it. He will look into it. He will handle it.
Have you heard back from the sheriff?
Never heard back from it. Never did.
Okay, when you went in today, now you said you made a call last week because there was an accident that happened.
Yes.
And you all had to go to the hospital and see about what was going on with Ed, right?
Yes.
And so you doing the right thing, call over, right? And you're trying to see if they will reschedule. When you call to reschedule, now this is just based on what you told me. When you call to reschedule, what were you told?
that he was standing outside, in the inside somewhere, talking to somebody.
Did he come to the phone?
No, he did not come to the phone.
Did he ever return your call from that day to this one?
No. No.
So this is the sheriff who said that he's going to look into the complaint against his deputies and their behavior and how they handle the matter at your home. But you've not heard back from him.
No, I haven't. And I told her to tell him I'd be in Thursday at 1 o'clock.
And she said
that she would tell him.
So when you go in today, what were you told?
That he wasn't there, and he had to handle something at Hazelhurst, and it'll be an hour or two before he can come in.
Oh, wow. What do you want to happen with this situation?
Well, like I say, I want to diffuse with being targeted at home and our own home. Could never get no rest.
And some of these police need to be fired. I don't mind about stepping up to the camera. Some of these police need to be fired because they're not doing their job. And when you come in for them, they act like they got the nose stuck all in there and they don't want to talk. And that's not fair. These people need to be left alone because they are not bothering anybody. They are quiet and they're on their family side. Upholding them with more mess. They coming in there talking about they'll do this and do that.
And she said that, and I was told that threats were made to your daughter, and your son. You come on.
Made to me. Threats be made to me.
Okay, come on out in the streets and things like that. But when the officers come, it seems like they are on the side of the other people who you guys are complaining against. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, and so how long has this been going on?
20-some years.
We've been together
23 years.
23 years. And ever since 23 years, every time they get a complaint, they call. They come to my house, just like, we don't went to their house. Now, they ain't never went out there for us. They always coming to my house from them. Harassment. See, they don't like Jamaindra, they don't like Jamaindra, and they don't like Double B.
So do you feel like the sheriff will do anything about this? And I know this is election year, and during election year, people generally do what they say because they want to be reelected. But
he's not doing nothing. He say he's
I felt like he would do better because it is election year. And from what he told me, if we vote for him here, he was gonna check into the thing and everything. And I done got my daughter and my son to go down there and register this year to vote for him, and got 100-some people, other people, to register for this man. But for what? I mean, he ain't doing justice like he said he was gonna do it.
And you all have not gotten a call from the sheriff?
I hadn't got a call, hadn't got a say-so, a letter, or anything.
And when you leave the normal, the call, he don't call back.
The only thing we got is a lot of money stowed up on us when we went to court.
So you guys are in the court system and you have to constantly pay money back.
Got to pay money, instead of paying money. That's all we done did.
So when you go to file a complaint against the people who are on your property, what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing
happened.
Do they allow you to press charges?
We pressed charges, but did nothing happen. They didn't follow up on their part of the bargain. They sat there and took my two to jail. And that was $550 to bail them out.
Wow.
Then another $175 she had to bail her son out the first time.
Wow.
Then a $1,450 to get her out of jail, and $2,450.
That's a lot of money right here in small town Mississippi.
But that's for me being at the house, for my kid to be in the house watching TV, and I had to come from like 45 or 50 yards to get back to my house to see what was going on.
Right.
I mean, and they walk around scot-free. Ain't nobody said nothing else to them.
And my children press charges on both of them, and they still did not pick them up.
I ain't picked them
not
up.
Not one time hadn't said nothing about it.
And so this Sergeant Regina Newell, what is her attitude towards you when she comes to your home?
she never liked my children from day one.
Mm-hmm.
She always had something against my children.
And this is how you feel.
This is how I feel. This is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
She never liked my children. This been going on so long with her. Because when they was at high school and stuff, she would, pick on them. So they would come home and tell me.
Is that why you say you feel like you were a target?
I am a target of her. Because she don't like me.
And so it's people, you say, now you claim that there are people on the inside who know the people you guys are complaining against.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like that's the reason why nothing is being done by the sheriff?
That's the reason.
Why. Because my nephew was calling the shot, telling her what to do, telling Regina what to do. And Regina told him to go home. He walked off about 5 or 10 yards, turned around, came back. Then he made a break at my son. He wanted to hit him, and one of the officers had him in handcuffs. He said, "Now, if you didn't do all that before we got here," he said, "now, why would you want to hit him while he in handcuffs?"
So when the officers come on the scene, nothing is done about the threats and the bucking up and the...
It was just a one-sided thing.
And
they
this,
never do nothing.
Everything was against us.
do you know if they had body cam footage?
They had them, but evidently they mustn't have them on. Because there ain't no body cam footage. Pulled up, my nephew Cliff Webb throwed a jar on the second time.
A mason jar, according to the report.
A mason jar, and I brought it down here to show it in the court. When I carried it in the courtroom, the prosecutor told me to take it off her table and put it somewhere, put it over there on the other table.
And we weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to be in there when they were talking.
To say nothing.
We had to be separate from our children in there. We had to be separate.
So you guys, did you all have legal representation when you were there that day? Did anybody represent you all?
No.
one.
And you were not allowed to say anything in the court?
No, we weren't.
No more than what she wanted us to say. Who passed the first lick? Well, Cliff Webb threw the first lick because he threw that mason jar at my daughter and hit her on the shoulder.
But that was disregarded?
That was disregarded. Every time we get ready to say something, well, that's irrelevant, about how the fight started, but they want to know who stole the first lick. And we couldn't say nothing, no more than what she wanted us to say. It was just a one-sided thing. And this is what we get for being in Copiah County. Well, this is the way the sheriff's system works,
Wow.
All it had been this.
So are you a native of Copiah County? Because I know Jamaindra is from Sunflower County. And the sheriff in Sunflower County, he don't operate like this. Yeah. That much I do know.
Y'all way different from us, because I've been here all my life, and this is the way things been running, And you got friends on the outside coming in telling the sheriff how to run things and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I said, it's difficult. Like I say, I don't have no job. I'm on a fixed income, and my money is valued just like the next person.
And you guys are up to maybe $3,000 trying to pay the courts.
$3,000 to pay for something that we didn't do.
And when you come to talk to the sheriff to resolve this issue so it won't happen again,
he don't have time for it.
Now, according to Jamaindra, she did tell me that after July the 7th, the people you guys are complaining against were told not to come back. But on the 8th, they came back.
Yeah.
And
they were told not to come back. Everybody stay away from everybody. Don't go on by nobody's house or nobody's property. Mm-hmm. Just stay away. They come back the next day like he hadn't told them nothing. Mm-hmm. And we was trying to tell the judge about it. That's irrelevant. We don't want to hear that. But they say he's mental. He's not mental.
Wow.
He's my nephew.
Does he suffer from a mental illness?
He don't suffer from nothing, from alcohol, drinking every day, making himself sick. He never had a seizure from day one that he come out of prison and everything. Because I used to, when he got hurt back in a while back, his stepdad hit him in the head with a bat, and his mama too. And he went in the hospital. He had, had to be trained over, to walk and all that.
It's physical therapy,
He was in physical therapy. I had to change him and all that, but he never had a seizure from day one.
Do you think
when they went to the hospital that night, saying that Charles telling him that he had a seizure? That's the reason he didn't go there. Say they took him to the hospital and they released him. they came on back home. They like nothing even happened.
Now, the thing about that caught my attention is when Jamaindra says she was put in handcuffs but never arrested. She was
Yeah, he had one handcuff on him.
Mm-hmm.
But he took it off. I said, man, old lady ain't did nothing. I said,
No, he had both of them on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember when I kept telling him,
yeah,
jacking on him,
let me see where your surgery happened at. Okay.
And this one.
Put your wrist together for me. And so you made him aware.
I made him aware
of the surgeries, that those recent surgeries at that time that you had, and he still put you in handcuffs.
He still jacking on me, cussing me out, telling me to shut up. He wouldn't tell the other party to shut up. But we couldn't talk. We still couldn't talk.
And even after that, he never took you to jail after he put you in the handcuffs.
No.
But he had threatened to take you.
He had threatened me.
And Sergeant Regina Newell had threatened when she pulled up and said that she's tired of this. Mm-hmm. She's going to take everybody in your family to jail.
In my house going to jail. That's exactly what she said. Everybody in my house going to jail. You might as well go in there and tell them, come on out. She come out on the porch.
Yes.
Who had to come out with the baby on her shoulder. She went up there and said, you finna go to jail. And she said, for what? She said, I ain't did nothing. She said, you going to jail. She said, put your hand behind your back. And so she snatched one of them and the baby dropped to her hip. And I went there and got the baby from her. I said, why are they going to jail when they up here in our yard? And all they had to do was to come there and get the bicycle and just walk off. But he said, WB said Charles wanted to fight.
Yeah.
So
I saw in the report where he asked him several times to leave the property.
Yeah.
And so when the police got there, right, the ones who were assaulted, the ones who were threatened were the ones who were locked up. Is that what you're saying? Your stepson was okay.
My stepson and my daughter, stepdaughter, were locked up. They got away scot-free. I ain't spent a dime, nothing, no more gas.
That you know of.
That I know of.
That you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. They come down here for court date and that was it. They been riding around free every day.
And was threatened in courthouse. Was threatened then.
You were being threatened. Okay, so let me ask you this. Every time that they were threatened and you were threatened, was it in front of a police officer?
No, they don't do it in front of them. They threaten when they ain't around.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's time for whatever go on, they call the police.
Now,
when they just started.
Now I understand you said that when the officers were there, one of the nephews or something started talking bad, being rough, and in front of the officer. Is that when it happened?
Nephew Charles.
Did he do that in front of the officer?
All of them standing right there.
And so this is the one who was calling the shots on the scene.
Shot to Regina. Regina, the one who told him to go home. Said, go home. He walked off about 5 to 10 yards and turned around and came back. Instead of talking, and that before that happened, that's the same one that wanted to walk up to WB when he had his hand behind his back and handcuffed. And one of the officers had him, a white guy had him. And he drove back to hit him. He said, no. He said, nah, if you gonna fight him with the handcuffs on, you should have did that before we got him.
Okay, so he stepped in and told him, do not hit him.
He told him do not hit him. And he walked out. He said, I get you when you get out of jail or something.
And he said that in front of the officers. And so is that why you guys feel like nothing is going to be done, because the people who have the authority and have the badge, who work under the leadership of Byron Swilley, will have the opportunity to come back and do the same thing again?
Well, I figured Byron Swilley is going to be the sheriff of our county. I figure he ought to be able to do what he's supposed to do as a sheriff, to be a leader. And if he got some bad, if you got a bad apple pie in your kitchen, you're going to throw it out in the garbage.
Okay.
But I feel that that's what he should do. We shouldn't have to tell him how to run his job and none of that. He's supposed to be our leader.
Yes.
And if we got a complaint, he's supposed to hear everybody's complaint like he heard ours and didn't do nothing about it.
And so this been several weeks. It's been several weeks.
It's been several weeks and we ain't heard from him yet. And then, like I said earlier, he asked me, would I vote for him? I told him, yeah. And I said, I get my daughter, I get my son to vote. And I had 100 more other people, friend guys that I know, and ladies.
And you gave them your word.
Gave them my word that this is going to be a good leader. I said, y'all go down there and vote for him. And they gave me their word, said they would.
But now, you're thinking differently?
If I can get it all back, I'll take it all back. For what? I mean, it's just a one-sided thing. We was guilty before we even stepped inside of that court door.
That's powerful. Oh, wow.
That's the way I feel. We was guilty because the lady that was sitting up there questioning us, and then we get ready to explain to her.
The prosecutor. She was real nasty with herself.
She cut us off, and we couldn't say no more than what she wanted us to say.
Wow.
And that would have been it.
Wow.
And the second time Regina come out there and she told me to come up there, she told me don't say not a word because you about to go to jail too.
So
wouldn't let me speak or nothing. Just don't say nothing because you about to take your tail to jail too. I'm like, I just walked out.
I can't understand why her old lady, Jamaindra Tyler, white manager, and Wyatt McDonald, they talking at them. I mean, they don't mess with me. They don't mess with me. It's just my family.
And Jamaindra is an outsider.
Yeah.
She's not from here. She's from Sunflower County.
Yeah, I know. They consider her as an outsider. But I choose whoever I want to choose. They got their women. And, if they don't like it, stay away from it. They ain't got to come down and start nothing. Then first time trouble gets started, the first thing they do, they call the police. And then when the police get there, they all on their side.
Let me ask you something. If you could send a message right now to the people who you guys have complaints against, what would you ask them to do?
I would tell them to mind their own business, stay at home with their family, take care of their own family, because we got this up there at my house. What goes on in my house, it stays in my house. We don't broadcast it no kind of way or any other way for them to have to involve themselves in it and to keep their anger or whatever they got against my lady to themselves. Pray for them.
What would you say to the sheriff if you could talk to him right now?
If the sheriff was standing right here in front of me now, I would actually tell him and looking at him dead in the eye. I said, for what you done told me and for what you done supposed to did, I ain't asking for no favoritism. I come to you like a man and I talk to you like a man. I thought that maybe we would get some results, and because the way we was telling it to you, we was telling the truth. Well, wasn't nothing done about it. You need to straighten up his act and get everything like it's supposed to be in order to be a leader. That's what he's supposed to do. Not like Trump or anybody else, like he's trying to take over and everything. But and this man had me believing in him that he was going to be. So you truly
believe he was going to keep his word here in Copiah County as the sheriff, as the top cop of this county?
I actually thought he was going to keep his word, but when he found out today that he ain't looked in it and told my old lady that he didn't know nothing about it, when it was called down to his attention that he hadn't heard nothing about it, and then we done gave all our complaint that we could give.
And to go in today and find out that he's not here.
He's not here, and he don't have time to come up here to be an hour or two later, but we got to sit here and wait on him. I mean, we don't need no leader like that.
And half of the time he don't be in his office.
No, I mean, all it took was just a little simple to come check things out.
Yes.
He knows what the matter was. He knows he get paid for whatever the officers get out there and do their job, or whatever they call themselves, doing their half job, making money off of us, innocent people. Because like I say, I don't work. I'm on a fixed income. And it takes everything I get to try to make ends meet, to make my house, make it livable to stay in.
And so we want to make sure that we let the people out there who are watching know that these are allegations, and that we're dealing with them as such, and that these allegations that they're bringing to you and telling you about, they are wanting the sheriff of Copiah County, Byron Swilley, to make himself available to resolve the matter. They're saying they're looking for results, right? And so if you are not able to get the results that you need from the sheriff, where can you go?
Find somebody else to take his place. Because all the voters that I asked to vote for him, I take it back. As of now, I'm not going to vote for him.
I know I ain't going to vote for him.
If this is the way he's going to do from here on out, if he gets in, we all in trouble. All the poor people's in trouble.
And so you feel like
I feel like justice ain't been served.
Wow. And on that note, I want to say thank you guys so much. And we will try to reach back out to the sheriff, Byron Swilley of Copiah County, who's not available right now, and see if he is going to give you guys a call back and make sure that this thing is resolved. Understand that he said that this is heirs property that you guys are located on, but I think your thing is You might have a right to heirs property, but you don't have a right to disturb the peace. Is that it?
See, my sister got 4 acres down there where she stayed.
Mm-hmm.
All her kids supposed to be down there amongst her.
Mm-hmm.
On her 4 acres.
Okay.
Okay, the rest of my brother got 2 acres burned off, Troy Walker.
Mm-hmm.
For his land. And the rest of it is our property. Okay, you got your 4 acres down there, then why are you trespassing up there? Because our property is not with ours no more.
Okay.
She got hers surveyed off. And she done issued out her 4 acres to her daughter and her niece and her granddaughter.
So it's not a matter of them having rights to your property because your property is yours.
That's right.
Okay, gotcha. Now I do understand that there's a road that runs next to your property.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't stop people from riding up and down that road. But what you guys are asking is that they don't stop by your home. Is that correct?
In front of my home with my car, because they know exactly where my land started on the right side of the road when they come in. Mm-hmm. The left side, like my niece, that trailer that's sitting right next to ours, that double wide trailer.
Yes.
See, that trailer's supposed to be down the road also.
And I was told that that's not even supposed to be on that property, but that's a story for a whole nother day, right? But you're wanting them, according to you, what you want is for the sheriff to bring some type of results, and also for them to stay away from your property. And people might say, well, that's heirs property, but it still doesn't give them a right to disturb your peace at your property. Is that correct?
They call the law on us like we done did something.
All right. Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to see if we can contact the sheriff, see if he's available now. Going to a commercial break. You don't think he's available?
The We Ship It All store. Visit the UPS store today. Be unstoppable.
Visit your local UPS store at 1831 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Suite